Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Bit of a nighttime video today. It's only going to be a short one. I'm just on my way home from football and this is kind of what I look like after the game. Apologies. Yeah, not really much about that. I've been worked hard for 40 minutes this game, like most weeks. This one's a bit more of a niche video. It's not really to do with Premier League or like professional football. I kind of want to just go into amateur one, like 6-a-side, 7-a-side tactics. So this is something that might not be available for everyone, but if you do play 6-a-side and 7-a-side, you might go too late. Just wanted to go to like some of the basics of it. I don't know if you can hear my voice. Basically, this game, me and my team have been flying in the league. Like we've been smashing teams left, right, and centre. But the key thing is, we work harder than every other team, basically, most games. We might not have the fitness, but we work harder and we're normally very organised. I think it doesn't sound sexy in 6-a-side, but I could literally say we have the best defence in our league. I think we have we conceded about maybe just 3 goals a game maybe, which in 6-a-side is very good. I think we average about 8 goals, 7 goals a game, something like that. But yeah, today it got me thinking. I was just like, football can be a very basic game sometimes, and this is relatable for 11-a-side as well. So if people are still playing 11-a-side Sunday League or whatever, take this on board. I've played Sunday League many years, starting 6-a-side for numerous years now. I'm hoping to get back into Sunday League eventually. Kind of had to stop because of work and just not having weekends off, but I would love to get back into it eventually. That's my hope. So yeah, it's just a little one for that. Sorry guys, one sec, just driving still. Yeah, I just want to go into how football can be a very simple game sometimes. And any youngsters watching this video, if you are watching it, just to take some stuff on board that I'm going to go into. So I think one key thing which I think is going out of the game at the amateur level, and I've noticed it since I was a kid, basically since I was a youngster, is communication. And the pros are saying it's going out of the game at the pro level as well, and it's such an easy thing to do, but such a hard thing to come across in the game nowadays. So I myself, I never had an issue with communication. Like I didn't even know I was like a leader sort of person until I joined my first Sunday League team, and then I was made captain on that second game. I was like, well, this doesn't seem right. How am I captain already? And literally just said, because you talk the most. Like no one used to talk at Sunday League level. I don't know if people have seen the clip of it was like I think it's Ben Foster on his podcast, basically saying that the best player on the pitch when Watford played Liverpool, that everyone was saying when they came off the pitch, was Jordan Henderson, just because he was literally barking at his players the whole game. You could hear from the entire pitch, and he basically constructed the whole team that day. And the thing is, communication, it doesn't have to be you're the loudest player on the pitch and you're just screaming at your players the whole time. Like, that doesn't have to be what it is. I actually try not to do that as much as I can. I used to do it a lot more, but sometimes it's just not productive and it's not information they can take on board. So you need to be giving information to players, and it can just help so much easier with organising a defence, or just like a basic one is passing on men. So if you play 6-a-side or 5-a-side, let's say, or 11, again, this is relatable for 11-a-side as well. If you played any of those, you will understand the importance of it. Let's say if you're defending and it's 3-on-3, but one of their players gets past your player, yeah? So all of a sudden you're 3-on-2, right? Someone has to make a decision in defence to step or to drop off, and normally it's coming from the keeper. So obviously I'm currently a goalkeeper of 6-a-side. I wasn't a keeper until about 3 months ago, but with 6-a-side, because it's so similar to like it can be very similar to 11-a-side in terms of the way you play. And so it means that the keeper with the ball at his feet can be so crucial. Like even tonight, the reason why it works well with me in goal, I'm not a bad keeper myself, I make some good saves, but the playing out the back's the key thing, I think. Like tonight, I was about to say, all we did at one point was just spread the pitch a bit wider, whipped it into the strikers, or the one behind the striker's feet. They did a quick 1-2, bang, goal. Like it was as simple as that. But that come from me telling my centre halves to split, so that it clears that space. You know, just simple stuff like that can make a massive difference with communication. So it's just sometimes just basic stuff like passing men on. I think it's my pet peeve with defence when people just pass their player on and they just point. It does my absolute nutting. If my teammates ever watch this video, they're going to understand what I'm saying, because at half time I absolutely drilled into my team about the passing men on pointing. Like, it's just the most infuriating thing, because essentially it's lazy. You're saying to him, take him, and it's like, no, you haven't told him he's even there, you just pointed, and he's pointed back at him as well. That's the worst part, when someone points back and you're like, someone just take him please. And it just doesn't happen. So this is going to be, I don't really want to rant because I'm trying to talk tactical with this. So I think what I'm trying to say is the communication could be the be all and end all when it comes to a defensive shape in whatever level of football it is, whether it's 6-a-side, 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 11-a-side. Like, and if you can have an organised defence, you will win your league. Basically, that's how I'm going on about this. When we joined this league, we came in straight from 5-a-side, and boy, it's very different to 5-a-side. We got slapped about for the first few weeks because we had no idea what we were doing tactically. We were still playing end-to-end football. The pitch was double the size, so we were panting as well halfway through. And yeah, it was a completely different game. It's more 6-a-side, weirdly, is closer to 11-a-side than it's 5-a-side, which sounds mental, but in terms of the tactics behind it and the way you approach the game, much more similar to 11-a-side, which is crazy. But anyway, what we built this team on is basically a good defence. So good organisation at the back and working hard on the opposition. That's the basics of football, for me anyway. If you can do that well, you'll survive in whatever division you're in. That's how it is. You will not get relegated if you have good organisation and you work hard in the opposition. It can actually take you 2 titles. Like someone like Mourinho would be a good example, you know. He built a success on having a very stingy defence, being well organised, but his team were dogged. They worked. You know, Lampard, quality player in the middle of that pitch, would fly forward, score goals, whatever. He worked his socks off. People like Essien and Chelsea midfield. Drogba was a workhorse up front. Like, he got Joe Cole to do the hard yards. Joe Cole was a street footballer, so he had absolute dogs in his team. Of course, I mentioned Ashley Cole down the left wing. Like, I hate to say it, I enjoyed some of their players, but I did enjoy some of their players because of their attitude towards the game. They were quality players, but they worked hard and they were organised. So if you're going to take anything away from this, if you're a player coming through or you're just playing Sunday League or whatever, do not underestimate the importance of being organised and communicating. If you're a fullback, speak to your winger. If you're a winger, speak to your striker. The further back you are on the pitch, the more you should talk, the more information you should give, because the more you can see. Yeah? So goalkeepers should be absolutely screaming at strikers. They should be conducting attacks from where they are. They should be explaining to players the patterns that are evolving in the game. They see more than everyone else does. Players, sometimes it's hard to see. I've realised this from being a goalkeeper. When you're playing, you don't always see everything going on around you. Like, you might have an idea of like, oh, we're getting exposed here and here and here. But the goalkeeper can actually tell you exactly what's happening, where and when. So they can tell you, oh, the number 10 is breaking free on that right hand side, the right pocket, every time the left back gets the ball and he's dropping in there and they're dropping their, you know, so you can see that sort of stuff. So if you're a keeper, you need to try and, so if you're a keeper, play outfield as much as you can, because then you can understand and relate more as well to the players, and you can explain it a lot easier. I think that's what's benefited me by going in goal now, understanding what's going on, and it's opened my eyes up more to the tactical side of it as well. And to be honest, being in goal now, it surprised me that we don't see any goalkeeper managers really, or like actual tactical coaches and goalkeepers, because they see so much of the game. They literally see the whole game unfold, and they should be conducting attacks from where they are, basically. Like, you start the move half the time sometimes. If you have a good pass, and you can start the move half the time. But yeah, I've gone into organisation and communication. The other thing that I want to go into, which is coming back in the game now, is the ability to beat a man. So I myself, centre half, 6, sometimes an 8 throughout my playing career. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I was never someone who's going to take on a man and beat them every single time. I might have one or two, right? Like I was more of like a workhorse midfielder. Don't get me wrong, I was a very good passer. I've still got a great long pass on me, and my pick. Like, I'm not trying to be cocky. I have a very good long pass on me. My passing range is always very good, but I wasn't a dribbler. Like, I was never going to be a dribbler. I might have a scoop turn in me, but I'm not going to go and do step overs and flip flaps and all this. Like, I'm very old school in that sense, so I'm not one who's going to explain to you how you take on a man. But what I wanted to say was the importance of having someone in the team who can take on a man. That's what I wanted to say, especially in small-sided 6-a-side, 7-a-side games. And it is something coming back into the game now in pro football. It's something that has been drifting out of it a bit, you know. I think Hazard might have been the last one we had, and now we're seeing like Morgan Rogers coming into it. In the Premier League, at least, we've got like Morgan Rogers coming in. You're seeing like Savinho at City. Like, you'll start to see these players emerge again slowly, and it's good for football because we need it, and it's what you play football for. I can't do any like these things that these players see. We have one or two in my team that, like, I wouldn't even think to try what they're trying. Like, I could see it, but I wouldn't try it. Like, they'll spin a player with absolutely no space or whatever. Whether in my sense, I probably would have got half a yard and played it back to my fullback or whatever. Like, that's what I would have done. So it just causes chaos. Like today, the team we played against, the reason they beat us was they worked harder than us, first of all, and they made runs and runs and runs and runs, which caused chaos because they had someone that could beat a man. The player they had up top was just able to take the ball on the half turn every single time, and he would spin left or spin right. He'd bounce and run him back. Like, he caused our defence nightmares. It was infuriating to watch, don't get me wrong, because I'm stood there just going, lads, you don't have to bite. If you need to just take half a yard off and take half a yard off him, but then the next time, go through him. Like, it's very old school. It's something Roy Keane would say, but if I'm getting my rings around, I'm going through him at some point. Like, but anyway, yeah, it was just, it opened your eyes to saying, like, yeah, sometimes having that player that can just beat a man is the difference. Like, our guy up front backs goals for fun because he can just beat the defence every single time. The idea is you isolate them, though. That's the thing, and this is where you come with communication again, because you have to, in small-sided games, you have to be able to make space for each other. And if you're all in one area, which can happen sometimes in these small-sided games, because everyone gets sucked to the ball, and then you try to explain, like, lads, spread out, like, defenders split. You can tell the difference between someone who has played at a reasonable level in terms of like top of Sunday League / they went to like Saturday League and all that, and like they've had like good coaching within their like childhood years. You can tell because the runs and the space and the awareness they have on the pitch. Like, if you have a defender who stands in front of the keeper and it's like, lads, you're doing what I could do right now. I can stand here receive the ball and pop it in there, you can basically go over to that left side. With all due respect, you go left, you go right, let me be here. It's risky because obviously if I miss a pass, they're coming straight into me, but that's the confidence you have to have as a team. So that's one thing I wanted to say. If you have got, if you have got that special player in your team, you've got to build your attacks around that guy, because that's what you're pinning your hopes on. Basically, you're trying to isolate him one-on-one with the player, because it can create chaos for the other team. Because if he beats his man, even if there's men behind, if he beats his man and you've got a 3-on-3 in the first place, all of a sudden there's an overload. So try and isolate them. That's what I can say. And if you are that guy watching this video that can take the man on, just do it every time. Like, just literally do it every time. There's nothing more infuriating than watching a winger who squares up his man and then decides to turn around and pass back, like Martinelli. Nothing more infuriating than that. And I can tell you, as being a defender, the worst thing to have against you is pace. The worst thing I hated. I still remember this guy that I used to play against. He wasn't particularly very technical, but I think he was a 100-meter sprinter maybe. Might have been a 100-meter sprinter. He was doing like 100-meter sprints in like 11 seconds, something stupid like that back in school. And he got scouts sent to his games because he was scoring an untold amounts of goals. But the reason he was scoring so many goals is because he was so fast into the league. I think we were like 16 at the time, maybe 15, 16, and he was getting like 4 or 5 goals a game. But the reason he didn't get scouted was because the reason he didn't get scouted was because he wanted that technical ability. So he'd get 15, 20 chances of the game because he was so quick, but he wouldn't finish his chances. But I still remember games like I remember there was one time where I wasn't slow, like back in the day. I was alright. I had a decent pace about me. I wasn't rapid, but I had decent pace. And I would give myself an extra 5-10 yards on this guy. And sometimes it was very close and not being enough, because he was just that quick. But my point is, having pace against you is terrifying as a defender. Even if you're a quick defender, you don't want it. It's not where you want to be in a foot race with someone, because the worst thing is to run back towards your own goal as a defender, especially if you're a centre half. You don't want to be caught out wide and want to squared up with a winger. The best thing is when they turn around, they pass it out, you go, okay, get the shape back. You know, you drop back into the shape, all sorted, all good. Like, if you are a winger watching this, or you're a fast player or whatever, drive at your man and just take him on every time. Like, go up the line sometime. Key thing that I think Saka learned in the past few years. So if you are a young player, watch more of Bukayo Saka, because he learned this last few years. Go up the line sometimes, go inside sometimes. So originally Saka was just always cut inside, and eventually it gets quite predictable. So me as a defender, if you're going to cut inside, I'm going to show up the line every time. I'm going to show up the line every single time, and you're not going to do anything because I'm going to read you every single time. And you're not going to get anywhere basically. But if you learn to go inside and up the line, then you cause an issue. Because let's say I think Robin used to do this a lot. First 2 minutes of a game, when he get the ball, he'd sprint at his fullback, sprint up the line, and he'd do it for the first 2 or 3 times. He might not do anything with it, but he'd sprint up the line every single time. So then, when he got the ball and he decided to cut inside, the defender was like, he was thrown off straight away because he was so used to up the line. So just think about these things as a winger. It's just little nuggets like that. Like, always take on the man. That's my be-all and end-all though. If you're one-on-one with him, if you're 2-on-1, fair enough. Like, that means there's someone else spare on the pitch. You don't have to take them on. If you want to, and your team's fine with you trying to take them on, then by all means, that means take 2 players out of the game. But you've got to think there's someone spare on the pitch here. I can use this ball better than potentially taking them on. But if you're one-on-one, just drive them every time, because you're a winger. You're the winger for a reason. You're the fast, dribbly winger. Like, make the most of it. Expose defenders. Like, we do not want to be stood up against you on that touchline. Even as a fullback, I enjoyed playing fullback when I had a bit more pace, and I still didn't like playing against fast wingers or wingers that was running behind me. That's another thing with wingers. So I'm going to talk about Jay and Sancho at some point. He is a winger that likes the ball to feet every time, and he doesn't have that burst of pace to get away from players. So I feel like he struggles a bit because of that burst of pace, especially in the Premier League. You can get away with it in other leagues where it's a bit slower, or if you have the ball a lot, like if you had Man City, he would work quite well there because you don't need the burst of pace at Man City because you dominate the ball. So you can be a little jinky winger. That's why Foden works well on the right wing at times for them, because he doesn't need to have pace. Foden has got the half a yard to get away from the man, but then he wouldn't need it. You know, that's why I used to have Bernardo Silva there or someone like that. But my point with Sancho was he's not going to run him behind because he doesn't have the pace to do it. The fullback's probably quicker than him, so why would he run him behind? You know. But if you are a winger, again, I keep coming up to pace. Just make, even if you haven't got pace. I used to do it, and I didn't have pace. Make the runs in behind the defenders, because again, I'm speaking defenders' point of view here. The worst thing is someone runs off you, because that gives them a decision to make. Do I go with them? Do I play offside? Like a third man running, a winger or a midfielder coming through, nightmare. Because either the midfielder's not tracked them, the defender might be too slow to react and it's gone. But also, if you're a fullback and the winger's gone past you, or he's making that inside run, he might have gone the outside sometimes, but he makes the out to in run absolute carnage as well. So I say, if you're a winger watching this video, first couple minutes of a game, take on your fullback, go mix it up which way you go, or set it up. Like go one way the first few times and then cut to the next time, something like that, you know. And keep your fullback on his toes. You should have the initiative as a winger against the fullback. Don't let the fullback run the game. Run your 1v1 game, basically. You should always keep him guessing about what you're going to do. So sometimes you're coming to feet, sprinting behind. Sometimes you're coming to feet and dribbling on the inside. Sometimes you come to feet, you won't get the ball and you'll just spin. And sometimes you won't even come to feet, you'll just go along, or you'll cut inside. Like, vary the game up, it can be huge. But yeah, it's enough on wingers. I was never a winger myself. I wish I could have been. I'd love to have been a right winger. I used to have a good whip on me, but I'll have to be a winger, unfortunately for me. Yes, I think I've gone into most of it really, you know. There's not really much else I can say. The only thing I'm going to go into is, after me being a goalkeeper for this long, give the keeper a break a little bit, lads. Like, you know, if either block the shot, if he's good, or make sure he can see the ball, basically. Because there's nothing worse. Sorry, the little guy trying to cross the road. There's nothing worse as a goalkeeper, someone doing a half-hearted block, not making a block, but also blocking me at the same time. Because people don't realise when you're a keeper, it's not up to when the ball gets kicked. It's not when the ball gets hit that you can see the ball from. You can start moving once you can see the ball past your defender. So if there's a defender 8 yards out from goal, but the shot's taken from 20 yards, and there's maybe shot's taken from about 15 yards, let's say, and there's someone 8 yards out in your way, you cannot move until its ball's 8 yards away, which is extremely close if you think about it. You know, that's like having a penalty with someone stood in your way and you can't tell where they're going until the ball's gone past that player. So yeah, give the keeper a break and listen to him, because he can see more than you can, and he's doing what he thinks is right for his defence, and at the end of the day he should be controlling that defence, even if there's another centre half. Like, the keeper should get the be all and end all when it comes to defence. But yeah, enough of me rambling on about that. It's been a much longer video than I thought, but hopefully this has helped. I don't know, if it's helped someone out there add to their game or think about something in their game, then I'm happy. I think my key takeaways from this game would be try to communicate as much as possible. Use your communication to keep yourself organised in defence, and the further back you are on the pitch, speak more. Give the information to the forwards, make their lives easier. You know, because you need those guys to help you score goals. So make their lives easier by giving them more information about where the defenders are, where the space is, so on and so forth. Yeah, I think that's my main takeaways from today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very different sort of video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by giving me a like or whatever. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the